Subdividing land has always been a side strategy to maximize profits while I'm building homes, while I'm building apartment complexes, while I'm doing any other real estate or business transaction. Small, simple subdivides have always been advantageous and extremely profitable. And this is how. When I go in, take example of the lot that's right behind me. It's in a more semi-rural area, the Mountain Town, one of our largest development areas that we've done over the last 15 years. And the minimum acreage size is a 1 acre parcel, but there's variables to those 1 acre parcels. And when these lots were subdivided, they took into account flood zones, waterways, they took into account hillsides, mountainsides, valleys, and some of those challenging variables, and they made some of the lots larger. But when you're looking at raw land and you're developing on paper, it's really tough to see how you can maximize the lots. Once you go in, you get your subdivide done on a master plan for big developers, sometimes they miss the opportunity to take advantage of additional lots. So when we came into a subdivision like this and we looked at this lot, the lot was for sale for $150,000. And because there's a waterway on the back end, we were able to negotiate the lot's price down to about $110,000. Now, with that said, the lot was 2.1 acres large and the waterway ran through only a portion of the lot. So we had a survey company come out, and before we bought it, I said, do I have enough buildable area where you could give me a scope to build where I could do 2 lots out of the 1 lot? And he told me, yes, we can. We have to fix one corner. And we went and got estimates to fix that corner. It was going to be about $15,000 in dirt work. So we knew that the lot price was going to go up an additional $15,000. We took it from 110, 125, okay? But that's for 1 lot. But we were able to go in and set 2 pad sites. We set one up on the high end of the lot, and then we knew that we had the cul-de-sac, and we could set one more pad site in the cul-de-sac and still meet setbacks. And it's going to take us about $15,000 of additional dirt work to mitigate and repair some of the flood area that's in that. Now, it's just creative thinking. What first got us to start up the road of potentially subdividing the lot is just the size. And we saw the waterways, but on paper, I saw the waterways that sat in a flood area, in a water plane. And I said, man, it looks like there's enough area there that I can comply with setbacks, which is 25 feet on each side. And each area is going to be different. Most municipalities require a minimum of a 5-foot setback on side lot lines. The front and rear lot lines are always different depending on the municipality. So make sure you check what your setback requirements are, no matter where you live in whatever municipality you're in. That's the first step to making sure that you can set successful homes on a pad site. Then we know what our setbacks are. Once we know what our setbacks are, we know what our building scope is. And so what we do is basically you're carving out. You ever play the game when you're a kid where you get a circle and you stick it into the circle? You get a square, you stick it into the square. You can't get a circle and try to shove it into the hole that has a square, right? When you're a kid, it just doesn't go. You know those little red boxes with the green, yellow, orange, and red blocks? It's the same thing when you're doing land. It's nothing different than what you played when you were an infant. All you're doing is you take a lot that has a different size to it, and you're taking a square or a circle, and you're trying to fit it on that lot. And so you take the section of usable land, and you say, okay, what can I put here? And then you have your architect put your setback requirements on the lot itself, and then it'll give you a flat area. And you go, that's my building scope right there. So you take the whole lot, you subdivide it. You get that one on a pad site where you're going to build anyways. Then on the other one, you cross out wherever the issue is, mountainside, flood area, whatever it is, do your setbacks, and then you set a house right there. And if it works, you sit back and go, okay, now let's start the formal process of subdividing this land. So then we have the survey company come in, and they actually just put in a line across where we want that lot line to actually sit. So they actually put in a designated lot line for the proposed subdivide. Then we go in and we register that with the city. There's typically a municipal process where you have to go in front of the governing body, either city council or building and zoning, or sometimes both. And so whatever your municipal process is, you'll start the application process, but you're going to want to have the address or legal description of the lot. That's the first thing you need. You're going to need to have a survey of the lot, and you're also going to need to have the proposed subdivide lot line of where you want that to subdivide. Now, if there's a restrictive covenants, if there's bylaws that are put together, or there's city and municipal requirements, you also want to provide that as well. So that way, when you go in for the subdivide, you can go in successfully and give the municipality all of the deliverables they need to make a logical decision. If you don't provide them that information, it'll just delay your process 30 days. So what I try to do is I try to compress time, because time is always money, especially if we have this lot tied up, and that's one of our contingencies, is our ability to subdivide and get 2 out of 1. Sometimes we don't want the seller to know, because if the seller's brain goes off, they go, ding, 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 I can make more money if I have 2 lots as well. I want the price to be inflated. Now I'm going to take this back from these guys and sell the land to somebody else. So a lot of times we just do a delayed close in lieu of the single family home that's under construction, or the single family home that we're proposing to go under construction, while we do the subdivide. Now, on this one, we actually started facilitating the subdivide after we took possession of the lot. We took possession of the lot before we started building. We started building knowing that we have 5 to 6 months to work on the subdivide. So we start working on the subdivide, typically about a 60-day process. Now, the lots in this area sell for between $135,000 and $150,000 per lot. So we got it for a reduced price because of the floodway, and that reduced the overall price of the lot down to $110,000. But now we're fixing problems. So even though we proposed that there's problems, which there were, we went and carved out one lot. Now we're going to carve out a second lot. And while we're building the house, we're going to go in and start the municipal process of the subdivide. So our survey company has already done the proposed sectioning of the lot. The proposed lot line is going. Now we go into the city and municipality. We perform at least 30 to 60 days worth of administrative work to allow the formal process to get approved. And before we actually finish this house and sell it, the subdivide will be done. We'll take ownership of the lot that's free and clear with any encumbrances from that lot, and now we'll have one free lot where when we go and build this house, we can either sell the lot, make $130,000, $140,000. It's not the most desirable lot in the area because of the waterway in the back, but it's usable. So with that said, we're going to take the lower end of the spectrum. We'll have all the paperwork that certifies the building scope, and a lot of times, ladies and gentlemen, it's just that people lack the sophistication of doing the work. This was just a lot, and it didn't have a building scope put on it. It was just a lot. So when we came in, we saw a lot with a waterway that ran through it that we knew was going to compromise construction, at least the scope of construction area. And because of that limitation, we were able to reduce the price. Now we go in, we create a building scope on the lot we want to use, and then we create a building scope on the lot we want to propose to sell or build on. So where we go in and we actually make about $250,000 to $300,000 on each one of these houses, I can go in and take the land for free, and instead of making $250,000 to $300,000, we can make between $400,000 and $450,000 on the actual build if we keep this land free and clear, which is a great acquisition. And that's probably what we'll do, is we'll probably build on this lot instead of selling it. Sometimes if we have a larger acquisition and we don't have the time to build, we'll just sell it, take our $130,000, $150,000 out of the lot and reposition that money into multifamily or something different. If we do have the time, we don't need the capital for something else at the time, we'll just build on the lot, because building on that lot's ultimately going to give us a larger return on investment, where we go in and make between $400,000 and $450,000 because of the free land. And so, ladies and gentlemen, there is always creative ways to subdivide land. We do this a lot with 1 acre lots, where we're able to go in and subdivide them in half, and they're simple subdivides. You don't go in and try to put roadways in. You don't go in and try to put curbs and gutters in. It's where the land is already there, the roadways are already there, and you simply just take larger lots and condense them in a semi-rural area into slightly smaller lots where you could go in and double down on your real estate and double down on your profits. Ladies and gentlemen, subdividing land has always been a strategic tool and a great financial means for large profits on the side of what we're already doing anyways, buying land and building houses. Look, for more real estate strategies, land hacks, and strategic ways to increase your profits, click and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Pound that thumbs up button, and I'm going to recommend a how to buy land, build house video right after this, along with our dirt to dollar process step by step, so that you could go in and compound your success on your next purchase, your next build, and your next real estate investment. Click subscribe, pound that thumbs up button, but don't forget to comment below. I love you. Go out and compound your success.